So, how important are the components listed in a reserve study? Too many people think that it's simply a list that can safely bend to meet your desired budget. Trim the scope of a few projects here, or stretch out the life a little bit longer there. Things like that. The truth is, Mother Nature and Father Time don't care about your desired budget. They are unrelenting, deteriorating everything at your property a little bit each day. Reserve component selection is all about identifying what's deteriorating and at what rate, so you can create a reserve funding plan that provides for the repairs and replacements your association will actually need, not just what you hope it needs. Well, thank you, Kali, and hello, everyone. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us for a program on reserve components. We're here to help you be prepared and not surprised for all your upcoming major repair and replacement projects. This is the outline we're going to be using today, and you'll note that before we dive into the answer to the question of which components should appear in our reserve study, we're going to spend a little bit of time on the why. But to start this out, I want to show you a typical component list. It's longer than I can actually show on screen, and I really don't want you to try to read it. Just a long list with components, useful life, remaining useful life, and replacement cost. Your component list may similarly be a long list, but I'm going to take a moment and focus on just one component, and that's the roof project. This is the roofing component in this reserve study. And as you can see, it's for the townhome's roof, all of the roof, all 120,000 square feet of it, and it's currently old and needing to be replaced this year. We don't casually recommend a client spend $600,000. We've been watching this roof gradually deteriorate over the years that we've been preparing updates for this association, and one of the projects we're recommending this year is their big re-roofing project. What's interesting is that after delivering the reserve study, we got an email from the president of the board asking the question you see on screen, if we could change the life to 12 years. So I want to pose that question to Christian, because caring as much as we do about accuracy, what do we do in this situation?
Yeah, Robert, thank you so much. Great to be here. And yes, this is a common scenario. I would say this is almost a daily scenario that we get in our office in some form or fashion, where there was a request to change the service life or the remaining useful life or the actual the due date of the project. So again, you're talking about a very substantial cost, a very substantial component here at 120,000 square feet. So really this comes down to communication. First, trying to clarify, are we talking about the remaining useful life or are we talking about the useful life? Oftentimes we'll get some confusion between those two. Typically we're talking about the remaining useful life or when the project is coming due next. So in that scenario, we want to make sure that we know where this question is coming from, where this request is coming from. Does it have any evidence to back it? Or is this simply a scenario where the community may be just trying to run and hide from the project that's coming up in the near future? Typically, it's the latter of those elements. And we take a deep dive into looking at the documentation, the history of the community. In this particular scenario, we're fortunate to have the history and the ability to know that it has been normally deteriorating over time. And it's just simply time for that roofing project to come due. So knowing that, we simply stand on what we've seen and the evidence. And we kindly say, hey, we understand, but we are going to continue to recommend that project be completed in the near future. And luckily for us, we have UPlanet at our disposal, our proprietary software. So even though we can still stand in our recommendation, we can show the client what it looks like to push that project out, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, something appropriate for showing them that.
Fantastic. Christian, I want to emphasize what you said, that we welcome questions from our clients. It's your property, it's your budget, and we want to make sure you understand why we're recommending what we're recommending. And if indeed we've watched the years tick down of remaining useful life and now's the time, that's what we're going to make clear to the board so they know that we are not just being casual about this. It's a big deal. And getting the roof project done on time means that they're going to save a lot of money in water leak bills, and mobilization on the first rain, and all of that costs when you are dealing on an emergency basis. So, and in addition, it's going to significantly change all the financial analysis, all the calculations about the reserve strength, which is called percent funded, and the funding plan, where we're designing a funding plan over the years so that this project and future projects can get done in a timely basis. So we want to make sure that everyone here is understanding that the components are indeed a moving target. We see them deteriorating over time, but all the financial analysis is dependent on where these components are. Is the asphalt okay, or is it potholed and uneven, upheavals, and literally failing? Is the roof okay? Can you see repaired areas? Is the roof on the verge of leaking, or is it has it actually started leaking? Remember that deterioration is ongoing. It doesn't take a day off. So we say here that Mother Nature and Father Time don't care if you have a tight budget. They're going to continue to do everything they can to take a new component and make it old and bring it to the point where it needs to be repaired or replaced. So we have some opponents here, and our opponents are Mother Nature and Father Time. You need a plan to offset this ongoing deterioration. It's like offense and defense. You need a plan, and that's what reserve planning is going to do for your association. It's going to help you get ready to do your reserve projects on time. And remember, that's the board's job, to budget so that the association has the cash to sustain itself. And if you're not looking at your reserve components, if you're closing your eyes, pretending they're not deteriorating, then you're not preparing financially, and you're just getting behind the deterioration. So in that case, you're headed for failure. And in an association, that means special assessments, possibility of loans, and lagging property values. So establishing the reserve component list and getting it accurate is significant. At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.